Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. I've stalled long enough. Which position group am I most concerned about going into Friday night's opener against the Baylor Bears? Going into fall camp, there were a few positions. Running back was on there. Linebacker was on there. Defensive line from a depth perspective was on there. It's not any of those. I feel fine about linebacker. I feel fine about defensive line. I feel fine about running back. At this point, it's the quarterback position. The quarterback position is the one I'm most concerned with. Not that I'm concerned or panicked, but to answer your question, like you've said it. How is Auburn going to lose this game against Baylor? It'd be from turnovers. And a lot of the times that involves the quarterback. I'm not predicting Jackson Arnold to be that, but if I had to pick, like, okay, if Auburn loses this game, to answer your question, it'd be because of quarterback play, would be my prediction.
That's exactly where I'm at too. First game of the season, you're working with new players, you're a transfer. And for the record, for anybody that's not familiar with Baylor, their defense is not quote unquote traditional. It is annoying because they're going to run 3-man fronts.
Sure.
They're going to do some different things. It's a little harder to prepare for. That's a fact. But you've had all freaking offseason for it too. So I don't want to hear that excuse. Even if they win, Jackson Arnold cannot look subpar. You know what I mean? He has to. They got to find a way to
lose the game. You don't have to win it if you're Jackson Arnold. Just don't lose it. You can get better and grow within the scheme over the next few weeks because you're going to play 2 manageable opponents before you go on the road to take on your former team a few weeks later. Just don't lose it. Figure out ways to get the check downs. Throw the ball up to Cam Coleman, like to help bail you out on 50-50 balls. That's one of the things that I was questioning down the stretch last year, like when Auburn scored 7 points against Vanderbilt. And I'm like, we can't just throw it up to Cam Coleman a few times. Like, we can't just try that. And then we started to do that a little bit. And it was like, oh, and like ULM was the first one. I think he was thrown to 8 times. He caught it 8 times. He had an incredible game. You saw it in the Iron Bowl. And it's like, why don't we just do that? Like, so, and that's the part of that's part of it where, like, with Hugh Freeze, it's like, okay, you get guys like Cam Coleman who could do stuff that other people can't do, where it's just like, throw it up to them. Like that's kind of some of the stuff that I'm excited to see, where, like, if there are moments where the offense is sputtering, can you get it to one of your playmakers to kind of get that momentum back? I don't think we really did that last year.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go with the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Cam Coleman, run the ball. Is Damari going to start? Do we know?
I think so. Hugh Freeze last week was asked about the overall picture of the running back room, and he said Damari is the most complete back without skipping a beat. So that tells me he's RB1.
Okay,
that's my interpretation of that.
He's a senior that they trust, can probably handle pass pro. That's the biggest thing.
He's gained some weight too. Like, he's become more of a bruiser than I expected him to be, which is, I think, good.
Well, then, again, I'm just going to say it for about the 10th time in this pod. 2nd and 5 is just fine. They're not going to beat Auburn if it's that scenario over and over. It'll be the Kentucky game all over again.
That'd be great.
Like from last year.
That'd be great.
So you need to make them have to change their game plan, both offensively and defensively, if they're going to play the coverage, I think, and playing off. And then eventually they got to start taking chances with blitzes.
What do you think?
Singleton or whatever. Good luck.
What do you think is the most lopsided matchup in this game, and who does it benefit?
Anybody that's guarding Cam down the field, one-on-one. I mean,
okay. So you're saying Auburn's receivers versus Baylor's DBs. Yeah. That's what Cam Stewart of Locked On Baylor said last week when we did our crossover. He's like, that's going to be favoring Auburn for sure.
They don't have anybody to guard him, and neither does Ohio State or Notre Dame. And they've got all their DBs are going to the NFL. What's Baylor going to do? I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, I study everybody at the top, and there's no corner in college football. I wouldn't want Caleb Downs again.
How many receivers in college football are better than Cam Coleman?
One. We all know who it is.
In Columbus?
So that would be correct.
He's in Columbus, Ohio?
That's it.
You have him over Ryan Williams?
I would take him over Ryan because he's more complete. Ryan's the most explosive. He's
Sure.
ridiculous fast.
Right.
But Cam's better in the blocking, and he's better in one-on-one 50-50s. But it's 6 one way, half dozen the other. If you wanted to pick Ryan, you could talk me into it. But
Sure.
I'll take the bigger guy because he's probably less likely to succumb to injury too.
Good point. Yeah, for a good chunk of the offseason, I've talked about the trench play benefiting Auburn. And even with some of the reports and chatter about the O-line struggling in one-on-one situations, Freeze added that they haven't really worked on like stuff to help, like scheme-wise to help with the one-on-one situation. So like, chip blocking or leaving a tight end in or whatever. Like they haven't really worked on that yet. I think that's just going to work itself out. I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant to that. Maybe I'm, I just think when you look at Auburn's O-line versus Baylor's D-line and then Auburn's D-line versus Baylor's O-line, I still think that is something that tremendously points Auburn's way.
I don't have any problem with that statement.
Okay.
I does Baylor even have, and I'm not sitting here saying I'm an expert on Baylor, but do they have a straight up first 3 rounds offensive or defensive lineman? Because if they don't, how do they win?
It's hard to see like 3-round stuff, but I mean, I look at mock drafts all the time and I don't see Baylor there.
Okay. So,
but you know who I do see? As I see Xavier Chaplin, I see Connor Liu, I see Eric Singleton, I see Keldrick Falk. And you would see Cam Coleman on there if he was draft eligible. You would see Jay Crawford on there if he was draft eligible. You'd probably see DeMarcus Riddick on there if he was draft eligible. Like just the talent differential it's crazy. It's crazy.
Zach,
it's just the coaching. It's coaching and quarterback play. That's what it comes down to.
Zach, you're setting yourself up for me to come on the show next week and yell by saying that. But if they don't win by 2 touchdowns, you should yell on your podcast after the show.
Oh, I'm just taking a win. They can win by 1. I don't care.
That's the Auburn fan in you right there that's been beaten to death.
Well, you've got to learn how to win close games before you can blow people out.
If you can't blow people out with this group of receivers, it's not going to get.
Oh, Brian, that is going to be a thing. That's going to be everywhere. Maybe not. We'll see.
No, you should blow them out, man.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope it happens. Brian Smith, how can people check out everything you've got going on?
Locked On the Portal, Spotify, Apple, Podbean, YouTube, wherever you get your pods, talking about recruiting, transfer portal, and all the matchups around college football. I even did a live show yesterday after the Kansas State-Iowa State game.
Yeah, that was such a week 0 game. Like, it had everything.
Raining, sideways,
it was kind of ugly, rainy, but like it had everything. Turnovers, 4th down stops, goal line stands. Yeah, it was a good game. Definitely feels like college football is back for sure. Please like the video. Please subscribe. And if you're tuned in on audio, please subscribe and leave us a review. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.